Full screen.
The internet doesn't like me
Full
very much.
screen it.
Full screen, baby.
Okay. You guys about ready for this thing?
Let's do it.
Let's lay down a cool 15.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I don't know what I was going to say. Let's get this thing started.
Hi.
It is, for all intents and purposes, it is Friday, September 4th. But right now it's Tuesday, September 1st.
But it's Friday.
But Waves is out. Let's pretend Waves is out.
Waves is out.
For the people, Waves
And it doesn't sound like that.
is out.
Waves. Sorry, I'll try and get
I don't like this hat.
for a minute.
Huh? No hat?
No hat.
I don't even know what to talk about. I am hoping the response is really good. I know
Yes.
I've got some people in my life who are personally excited for it, so that makes it worth it for me.
Yeah,
I'm just
same.
really excited for something polished to be out and not demos.
Yeah. The people will have
Especially
noticed.
because the demos don't even have Paul on them.
Yeah.
Hey, but you know what? Those demos were enough to get me interested. So, but I feel like we've taken it to the next level now. So,
Yeah, the people will have noticed at this point that the demos are gone. The secret
My demos.
the not so secret demos are
The
gone.
secret demos.
well, except for all the ones that I sold without you guys knowing that I burned onto CDs and sold for $5.
Did you do that?
I don't want to talk about it. Anyway,
And we're paying
regardless.
for our mastering and mixing with tacos.
Yeah, apparently that's a
Yeah.
great deal. By the way. Yeah, I like food. Anyway,
What blew my mind is that just totally forgot his name, Matt.
Matt McQueen, Gem City Studio, baby.
Yes, huge shout out to Matt McQueen at Gem City. Gem City?
Gem City Studios.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's plural.
Gem.
There's more than one.
Yeah, I keep thinking like Gem
Studios.
like that. Gem City Studios.
Yep.
And I always forget his name, David Kaplinger at Soothsayer Audio. Those guys
David!
put in the work to make the thing sound as good as it does. So really
Yeah.
want to give them the highest of praise and recognition. But, it's been such a long, I think we talked about this on the podcast already. It'll have been a year, if you're curious how long it takes from conception, if you will, to getting a song fully released. It's literally like an entire year because
Yeah.
I wrote Waves last year around August or September, and we're releasing it this year in September.
It's been a long time.
So long.
For real.
So I'm excited about that. How are you guys thinking? How are you feeling about it?
I'm feeling really good. I'm excited. I'm happy with how it turned out. I think it's cool to listen back to the demos and see where the songs ended up.
Yeah.
Especially with just being able to like flesh out the ideas on the drums.
Oh yeah. I was hoping
Drums
that would
sound
be,
a lot better now.
I was hoping that would pull Paul in even more. If I played the drums and then he listened and was like, "No, that's really bad. I got to fix that."
I mean, they weren't terrible. I was just like, oh, I'd do some stuff differently.
I'm not actually offended, but I'm still minorly offended from the last time that we practiced and we started playing one of the B-sides for this first batch. And I felt like you were almost mocking the drum beat that I put down on the track.
Wait, when was this? Did I do my Metallica drum face?
No, we've got that one that, well, if anyone's familiar with the demos, we've got the one. It's actually the outro to our podcast because I needed something that we weren't going to use otherwise.
It's a great demo.
What the heck is it called? I already forgot.
Saying goodbye.
Yeah, saying goodbye. But the drums are like kick, snare,
Who wrote that
kick,
song?
snare, kick, snare for the whole song. And so I felt like, I don't know, felt like a statement. Felt like I was being
You know
called
what?
out.
That's all the White Stripes do, and they're millionaires. So give yourself some
enough.
credit, bro. It's okay. Kick snare sells. I mean, look at Metallica, bro. It's fine.
Wow. So my question though is I don't want you to answer it right now. We should flesh that out. But if we were to actually record the song, what would be your drum beat? I'm interested to see what that would be.
Oh, I already got it down, bro. I wrote that months ago.
Okay.
Yeah, what's up? Got to keep one in the can.
So, Paul, how are you feeling specifically about Waves coming out?
I'm freaking pumped, man. It's nice that people are interested. Like, I've got some friends and family that are been following our journey thus far and just been going on about as this song has progressed from like the recording the drums and then hearing it with your guys' parts and then like the first couple mixes, and it's just man, it's good that it's finally out and the world can hear how good it is. It sounds fantastic, man. I'm not going to lie. This is probably the best recording I've ever been on.
For real?
Like, yeah, for real. Just the way everything has come together, like your guys' parts and like the song as a whole, but like the mixing, the mastering, like I think it's the best thing out there with my drums on it. No doubt.
I could agree. I think it's the best I've ever heard one of my songs recorded and mixed and mastered. I don't think I've ever seen a better result.
It's so good, man. I'm pumped. This thing's happening, man.
It's crazy. I thought we could maybe go through just a little bit. Hopefully, it's not going to be too boring or anything. But if we could go kind of behind the scenes, like how did we get Waves from where it started to where it is on Friday, today? We always record our podcast in the future.
Yeah, duh. I mean, time machines and stuff. With how many times I've watched Dark on Netflix, I know all about time travel. Anyway.
Okay, so let's start with me because I love me some me.
Yes, correct.
Some of all the responses I could have gotten, I don't know that I expected that one. That one was perfect.
I have you recorded on my podcast saying that, bro. So I know it's fact.
Okay, so quick little side note, which is also about me. Very fun. I used to work with a guy named Doug. We've, I think, given Doug a shout out before on the podcast, ironically. We posted a few stories on Instagram and Facebook about our Starbucks drink, which we should actually talk about that very briefly.
Yeah.
Our Starbucks drink, and I posted a video of me, like my reaction to trying it for the first time. Doug responded. It's really good. Doug responded to that story, and all he wrote was 4, which is in reference to my Enneagram scores or result or whatever your number is, right?
Yeah.
Because 4, in its essence, is just like a special star. Like, have to feel like you're the special person and that you are unique and no one understands you. And
look at that.
So that was my response to Doug as well. Is I love me some me.
It's a good response.
All right, so before we get into the song, then let's talk about our Starbucks drink. Why not?
Okay.
It's delicious. Okay. Didn't you describe it as like a mango dragon fruit with chorus on it?
Yeah, if you took a mango dragon fruit lemonade and then added chorus to it somehow, like that's what it would taste like.
It's so good.
I want this completely on the record, right? Because Paul, you actually work. We're allowed to say that, right? You work at a Starbucks.
Correct. Yes, we are allowed.
And Nick, you are a barista by trade as well. And
I also work for a Starbucks.
I was gonna say, Nick works for Starbucks.
Well, I didn't know how official that was.
The background check. I just got a text from my manager today. The background check went through. So
awesome. Well,
not that I was worried about it.
Never mind.
So, seeing that Nick and I are from the same hometown, and he's about to begin working at a Starbucks, I didn't want anyone thinking that Nick was like somehow in on this at all.
I had no idea it was happening.
So I thought it would just be kind of funny, almost in a sense, to just be like, "Hey, Starbucks, how do we get a custom drink? Like, what would our custom drink be?" I was absolutely blown away. 1, because we're absolutely not famous, but 2, just because I didn't expect Starbucks to be like on the ball with their social media, but they are. They're fantastic at it.
Oh yeah.
We got an almost immediate response that was like, "All right, we're on it. We love a good challenge." And I'm like, "Oh, wow." Whole day goes by, and they didn't respond back. So I'm like, oh, well, they have a job to do. They have better things to do than to just hang around and make free drinks or whatever, or whoever pays for, like, trial drinks. And so then the next day at, like, 5 in the morning, they said, early morning mixing for the OK. And I'm like, what? And it's got this drink, and you can go check that out on our Instagram. or wherever, I guess wherever our photos pop up, with like what kind of drink it is and all the add-ins and all that stuff, and it's delicious.
And we're
Yes.
affectionately calling it the OK Lemonade.
The OK Lemonade.
I love it.
But
Has anyone tried it blended yet?
I'm going to try
I have
it
not.
blended.
I'm gonna
I
do
have
that
to.
today.
Actually, I'm supposed to start my diet today. I'm supposed to.
Wait till tomorrow.
But anyway, I just want to get that out of the way. I didn't want anyone to think that Nick was like somehow in on that. And I was kind of blown away to find out.
No,
that
it's
that was,
super cool. I plan on bringing it up when I get there,
Yeah.
but because I have my orientation Friday.
Whoop whoop.
Well,
Yep.
long story short,
Today. I'm having my orientation today. Right now, as we're speaking, I'm actually at work.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
If anything ever annoys people on our social media, that's what I just want to reiterate, that it's always me. I did it. I want the heat to fall on me
That's
for everything.
That's so not true. But okay,
Okay. So let's
Zach
get to
is better at like interacting on Instagram.
which is dumb because I don't like using Instagram personally at all. I don't want to
Oh,
get on.
I love Instagram.
I love
love
Instagram
Instagram
as a company, as a platform, but I don't like personally. I would prefer to just go off the grid. But then people wouldn't give me enough attention. I don't know. Anyway, let's move on.
Yeah, sort
4.
yourself out, bro.
Okay, so waves.
Schwaves.
A year ago, I went on family vacation with my in-laws.
To the beach.
And over the course of that, I was listening to a lot of The Midnight and a whole lot of other bands, but that was kind of my first dive into The Midnight, and I really liked how their vibe was a little darker. And so I was kind of going sort of on that same wavelength, trying to make something similar, not construct-wise, but like lyrically. But I don't know that I really landed there, because Waves is what happened, and I wrote the majority of a song that I had titled I Wish That I Could Stay, which I don't like that title anyway. And so it was mostly Waves with none of the verses, pretty much. And so later on, I think I ended up adding in the verses, and my wife helped me pick out the key, which is hilarious. We have a recording of me playing it through to send to you guys, or to Nick maybe just at that point.
At that point, you were sending it to me so that I could come up with kind of like synth sounds and stuff, just sketches.
And so I had played it in 3 different keys for Taylor, and she was like, I like that one. I was like, that was the one I like too. So then I'm like, all right, well, I'll play it through in that key to send to Nick. And I'm halfway through the song, and she's in the kitchen. She goes, babe, just pick one. She thought I was just still trying to figure it out. So,
So
Fast
Which we
forward.
should have. And speaking of background noise, you can hear my son yelling at his cartoons right now. Sorry about that.
Oh, that's cool.
But we should have kept that in the recording. We should have actually snipped that out, put it in there.
Yes, totally.
Speaking of, real quick, I don't know if do you have more? Because I've got something
Nope.
to add to the
Nope.
whole,
I
like,
was just gonna
you're talking
bounce
about
it
the
over to you.
midnight being kind of that darker sound. Like, I've always kind of had that thought about the Midnight's music. I don't mean to like commentary on theirs, but almost like that number 4, that misunderstood guy, almost like on the West Coast on a motorcycle late night kind of thing.
Sure. Yeah.
Like very pensive. And that was actually that was what I used kind of for like, I use like visual or thought inspiration to like put into guitar parts, to kind of inject into those. And so that was kind of my idea behind the whole, the guitar solo for this song. Almost like over dramatic, kind of just heart on your sleeve kind of thing.
I think that
Whole
translates well.
misunderstood emo boy.
Speaking right to my soul.
What? None of that came through. What?
So your
What?
internet like
You-
wavered there.
Are you,
You
for
turned
real?
into like a robot.
You mean like reach?
Yes. You said like a misunderstood emo kid, and I was like, "Oh, you're speaking right to my soul."
Oh, okay. That makes more sense now.
Yeah. I should have left you guys hanging and be like, "I don't know. What are you talking about? Nothing. I didn't say anything."
And so,
Anyway.
Nick, you ended up doing most of the early programming for this, right? Kind of mapping out.
Yeah, so which
synth
is kind of
noises,
funny
and
because
that's where the arpeggio came from.
that little there's a little like sparkly after the guitar, like there's a wave of guitar octaves and then a chord, and then there's like this sparkly synth that happens, and that was I wanted to make sound because you're the keys player for the band.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can go in through I use Reason. I can go in through Reason, and like Reason is a music editing software for those that don't know. I can go in there and just like one note or two note and like draw in what I want and stuff, but you can actually go back and play it. I'm terrible at that. So my idea was to take these songs that Zach had written and write almost like the colors, like take Zach's sketch and then color it in with different synth sounds. And then I banked all of those and sent them over to him so that he could then pull them up on his DAW and look at like the sequencers and the arpeggiators and stuff like that. And it actually was fun because I had put together some stuff that worked for how I played it. But then when he played it, he's like, there's a fifth in there that's not supposed to be there. Let me fix that real quick.
Oh, yeah, I don't remember that. Yeah, but I was like, yeah, that's not quite. I think that was just me trying to personally like regain control. I have a control issue.
No.
But yeah, so then we took it and literally took everything Nick had recorded and then recorded.
Actually, like I didn't
Scratch?
do any guitars at first. Like the
none
only
of your stuff
thing that
was
I did, I
guitar.
used a little like a Kai MIDI controller through Reason, and then I sent it back to Zach and was like, this is my idea. What do you think? And then he'd send it back and be like, I don't like that. Fix this. I like this. Let's do this with this part.
And so I went into, I want to call it a studio. It's not really a studio, just a really makeshift setup. Lay down some drums, and then
Drums.
real
Drums.
quickly, the piano part I played on the song for the actual release is exactly how I wanted it played. But that evening when I was trying to lay it down quickly, I couldn't get the coordination right. And so I just said, forget it, and I just played it at the easiest reach that I could. Like just whatever my hand found for that chord, that's what got put on the track.
You were trying to tell me that when we were scratch recording guitars.
Yeah.
And I don't think I quite understood it until I heard the actual finished product.
Yeah, it had to jump up like by one inversion or something like that. Anyway, so then Nick lays down, scratch guitar, more or less. I think for a lot of this, I was a little unfair to you, Nick, because I would spend a little too much time on the vocals or the keys or whatever, and then I'd be like, it's fine, just leave the guitar, we gotta go. And so all the demo guitars ended up just a little bit less than what Nick wanted them to be, but they still sounded awesome.
We recorded one of them on like a little Roland Cube amp,
Yeah, it's back here.
didn't we?
It doesn't sound bad.
Yeah. But then like I used
The title.
the Karate Kid Strat for the whole thing.
Yep. And so then we let those sit on the internet for a minute and told Paul about them.
There was a
Well-
lot that happened in between that.
I mean,
Yeah.
you told me about them, but I also kind of pried. I was like, hey, you guys got some demos yet? Hey, what's up? Hey. Like every couple of weeks, I'm like, oh, I should just see what's going on with Nick and Zach because I want to be in this band.
All right. Well, this is I don't know where to go from here.
So that's how the songs
So that's how the
like
song
got that they
became
were
a
formed
song.
that way.
Right. And
So then let's talk about the actual recording process.
yeah, that'd be good.
Mhm.
It starts with Zach. It starts with Zach. He's the one that like basically like if you think of it as like drawing a picture, Zach's the one who actually like picks out the piece of paper that we're going to use and
Sure.
draws the outline and then sends it away.
Yep. So we had already decided on a tempo with the demo, and so I didn't really check with you guys, but I was like, that still sounds good. So I think it's 85. That sounds right.
Is it 85?
I think so.
Sounds good to me. Anyway, even if it's not, let's call it 85.
84 through 6.
And so
Yeah.
I put down the simplest of piano chords that just sustain through each measure or each hold, and then sent that with just the vocals, which I recorded with the crappiest mic I could find in honor of Paul's Rock Band microphone.
Yep.
And that was it.
That's right.
sent to Paul. Paul laid down the drums.
Yeah.
Some magic.
Drums were fun. So what's cool about Waves for me is that's the first song I tracked here in the home studio. So it was cool. And I was also freaking out because like 2 days before, so outside the studio I have this spot that's basically just filled with other drums that I don't have set up in here all the time. There's like 8 snare drums out there right now, and none of them work. One of them I bought a few years ago, and I just broke something on it, and I haven't fixed it yet. The rest of them have just been given to me, or people didn't want, and I was like, "Ooh, I'll take that." So I saw this one, and I was like, "Ooh, it's yellow. That's cool." And then I was like, "Ooh, it's a deep one. Ooh, I should fix it." And then I like start piecing it together, and then I realized one of the screws on the side plate that holds the snares up was like stripped. So I kind of just made it work, but I wasn't getting the exact tension I wanted. So I was like, ugh, I don't want to have to tape the snares because that just sounds bad. So anyway, I rigged it, and I was pretty pumped on it. And then what's funny is I sent it to some of my drummer friends and studio friends. They're like, this snare sounds weird. And I was like, well, what's weird about it? And like, I don't know. It just doesn't sound like you. And I was like, well, you know what? I'm going for a new sound with this band. So, but I actually like the snare. However, I did get really self-conscious about like the drum not actually being fully functional and like kind of rigged. So I was like, all right, I don't think I'm going to use this for the rest of them. So I used a different snare on the other songs, but we can talk about that later. So anyway, Waves has it's a different snare drum than the rest of the songs. So
yeah, and so industry secret, if anyone's not in the music industry listening to this, a lot of times when you take a song and get that professionally mixed, they'll do what's called replacement, which I don't know why I just said that in a way that's like that's obviously what it's called. They replace the snare with quote more or less a fake snare, right?
Yeah,
which is typically like a real snare that someone played and made a perfect sample out of. So I'm not sure. We have a mixing wizard working with our stuff, so I'm not sure if he replaced it or if he just made that raw sound incredible. But whatever he did,
and I don't think
turned out.
I don't think he'll
probably a
ever give up
mix.
his secrets about that.
No,
So.
I
Yeah.
asked him a question. I was legitimately curious about something the other day. I'm not trying to steal any trade secrets, but I never got an answer.
He's a busy guy.
Not straightforward. He responded, but he did not give me the information that I requested. But
Yeah.
I respect
Which I
it
almost,
highly because I wouldn't.
as a
give away
musician,
any secrets
yeah, I
either.
kind of appreciate that more than somebody who's like, yeah, I did this and this. Like, keeps the magic alive.
I like magic.
But yes, the drums sounded incredible.
Yeah.
I think we have about 9 minutes left. I think we can knock this out in 9 minutes.
Yeah. I just told Matt, I was like, yo, I want these drums to sound super 80s, and I feel like he did a fabulous job. I mean, not to, just give myself all the credit, but you have to start with a decent, raw tone. So I'm very happy with what those were. But Matt definitely brought them to the next level, man, no doubt.
If you don't start with good drums, your whole tracking system is just going to fall apart. And we were very fortunate, not to talk about you as if you're like some kind of third external party, but
That's cool.
to have you lay down that good of a drum track just on the first track, the first song, was super exciting. I was like, hey, Nick, we don't have to change anything. We don't have to like adjust them for timing or anything. So, so good.
I worked really hard on them. I'm not going to... So, last thing I'll say on the drums. I've been recording drums for a long time, not by myself, but just for people and whatever. And this is probably... I think I've worked the hardest on this song. There was another song that me and my brother did in our old band that I was like... I really sat down and I wrote parts, and I've always been really proud of it. But, man, I really sat down and I was like, I have to write this. And if I did one thing wrong when I was recording, I was like, gotta start over. I missed
That sounds like me.
I missed one hi-hat hit, and I was like, crap, got to start over. So I'm very, very proud of these.
I could talk forever about our stuff. We could turn this into another 2-hour podcast, but
we could. But anyway,
the last thing I'll say about drums, Paul, I love when you send us alternate takes that are just metal drums. If you like, you're like, I'm just going to record a metal take just for fun. Anyway, we'll get back to that. And so something unique about Waves, Nick and I have definitely recorded together in the past. Something new this time around, he had the drums and I had the drums, but we recorded our parts separately without hearing what the other person was laying down. I think I added synths in after guitars, but like I recorded the main piano tracks and stuff with just the demo piano and the drums, and Nick did the same for guitar, I think, right?
Guitar and bass, yeah.
Yeah. So nothing fancy there. I won't get into the individual tone choices and things like that. I wanted to keep Nick's original idea of that arpeggio, so it's kind of like a bell thing. You'll hear it in the song. It kind of goes just over and over and over. So hopefully that doesn't drive you crazy. It's our mom's favorite part, coincidentally. Shout out to Mom.
Hi, Mom.
But no, I just really wanted to stay true to just kind of there's a simplicity to the song. You know, some of the things from that original demo stayed. Some things got altered a little bit, but like if we could go back a year ago, it's pretty much the same idea that I had, just fully realized.
Yeah.
I like it.
Nick, let's talk real quick about a couple key parts that I think really define the song guitar-wise. So your introduction to the OK are these almost like a swelling part, and then like a really nice, not brittle, just kind of glossy chung.
Right.
Yeah, right at the beginning. And so like if you ever hear us say chung again, there's this chorusy guitar chung. I don't know how to. Anyway,
It's just like a sparkle chord.
Yeah.
It just happens. Yeah. So those, I will say, I use the same gear the entire time. It's in one of our blogs where I talk about my pedal board and stuff.
Metal Zone on everything.
There's for those guitar nerds out there, I'm using a Metal Zone for a lot of the guitar tones.
I love it.
People hate on that pedal so much, but there's JHS talked about it in one of their vlogs, where like the Metal Zone is like the McDonald's of guitar pedals. No one says they use it, but they've sold over 1 million of them, so somebody's lying.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that I used Roland JC120, a 1980s, early 80s or late 70s PVT60, and then basically everything that Boss makes. And a JHS Morning Glory. That's my drive tone.
Nice.
And it will the Walrus Audio Deep 6 compressor, because compressor makes a big difference on this style of guitar. But yeah, so that first swell that you hear is just it's the E flat chord, or E flat suspended chord, and it's just used a whammy pedal to layer the straight octave, octave up, and octave down, and then swelled them all in at the same time. And then that bright hit is just super clean compressed guitar, bunch of chorus, little bit of plate reverb, and then you just hit it and let it ring, and a little bit of delay.
I dig it. People who are familiar with the demos will notice that the actual hook riff is just slightly altered from the original concept, which I thought was really tasteful. Not to just sit here and talk about Nick's amazing parts, but like from my view, like I hope that my synths and keyboard and vocals and stuff come across nicely, because that's something I take pride in. But I feel like the guitar and the drum parts really make the song kind of come to life. But my biggest thing is that the solo, specifically the bridge solo section, drums wise, honestly, synth wise and guitar wise, that it's just, I hope that people who are hearing it for the first time are just as impressed as I was when I heard it for the first time. It just all came together so nicely. So
For real.
Mhm.
But no, I'm just thrilled that Waves is out there. This is, we are the OK at this point. Like, we have officially, after however many months, 5 months of doing blogs and podcasts and sort of hinting at the fact that we have music. We finally have music. You can find us anywhere you want. Spotify,
Finally get to prove that we actually know how to play.
Apple Music.
Yeah.
It'll be on YouTube. It'll be on our social media channels in one way or another. And that's it. Yeah, Waves is out. Oh gosh, I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go listen to it,
And
and
so,
have your mom listen to it, and everybody else you know.
Yep. And if you like it, the biggest thing you can do for us is tell someone else about it. So
Yes, please.
Yep.
that's it.
I would honestly rather you tell somebody else about it than buy merch or buy a copy or anything. Like, just share it with somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'll put a smile on their face and warm their soul.
That's all I got. I'm excited.
That's
Me too. We did it, guys.
And,
Woo!
We'll talk about
I
this.
do want to, real
Oh, yeah.
quick, one thing to add about what Zach did on the record. I do want to compliment the expressiveness in
Oh,
his
yeah.
vocal performance.
Oh, dude.
I know a lot of people probably, like, it's easy to focus on the part of singing that is the technical side of, hitting the notes and, vocal attack and everything, but it's just kind of like the techniques. But Zach did a good job of putting thought and emotion behind what he was singing.
100%.
Well, thank you. Yeah.
That breath at the end, gets me every time.
Wait, no,
Dude,
okay, I
for
got to take it
real.
back. That's Mom's favorite part.
Oh, it's so good, dude. Man.
I don't want to. I'm not going to ruin the magic on that. There's a story for that breath. I'll leave it up to the theorists to
Ooh, okay.
try to
Party.
figure out why it's there.
I like it.
All right. Well, that's
Well,
it.
I'm proud of us. Go check
I'm
Waves
proud
out,
of us.
everybody.
Yeah.
Go listen to Waves and
we're a
share
band.
it with a friend. And we'll be posting, I'm sure, very soon information about even more music coming out. Right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Start with this one. Listen to this one like a million times. Be happy with the one. And then,
Yes.
Yep. Okay. That's it.
Okay.
All right.
Go listen to Waves.
Okay.
Or buy it. Do people buy music anymore? Nah, music's free. It's 2020. All right. Enjoy. Waves is for you.
Waves, go check it out. Bye.
Bye.
Okay. Bye.